morning, everybody. My name is Tobias. I'm from StorMagic. I'm with the company since now 2018, so I'm in my 8th year with StorMagic, a very great journey towards the resiliency of on-premise solutions. So we are not a typical security product, but we are a software company focusing on premises needs when it comes to high available storage and also when it comes to the point of alternatives for a home for your applications. So to speak, with our own, we are coming now since 1.5 years with an own hypervisor with a full stack solution. And this is what this presentation is about for today. And I would say, let's start and don't waste that much time. As mentioned, we from StorMagic are a UK-based software company, so made in Europe. We are focusing on our 3 cornerstones that everything what we are doing in our company, every software, every bits and pieces we are producing, or not producing, coding, by the way, is reliable, and the software is also as simple as possible and comes to a best price as possible to you as a channel partner and even to your end user customers. And the main focus is to eliminate downtime while lowering the total cost of ownership across different verticals, different scenarios where our software is running. We are now this is not 100% correct anymore. We are in our 20th year with StorMagic. So the company is founded in 2006. We have round about 50,000 plus customers all over the world. We are purpose built, as I mentioned, for right-sized on-premise solutions to run or to bring you into a position to be high available with all your application data. Doesn't matter where the data is produced, where the application is running. And what is really special about our company and our software products we are bringing on the market is that we are really having more or less no severity 1 calls. Under 0.03% of our calls we have in our support team, which is owned by ourselves. So we have no outsourced support team anywhere. If you are calling into StorMagic or you're raising a ticket via email via our ticket system, you will definitely get 100% an engineer, a support engineer from our side on the phone or via email to help you with any kind of requests or complication if you are facing some. From a business perspective, what we solve is definitely since the acquisition from Broadcom, from VMware via Broadcom, is that definitely everybody is looking after a possible good replacement to get out of this unclear situation. If you still can buy software from VMware, yes or no, is standard still available in the upcoming months or years. And we also would like to give, as a software company, not only the flexibility of choosing your own hypervisor, but also on what kind of hardware you would like, or what kind of hardware you would like to use in your IT environments. So definitely one problem we are also solving, besides the fact that we have a very good alternative when it comes to a hypervisor, that we also have the availability or the capability, because we are software is portable. Hardware is what hardware is, but we need something. But this something you are definitely free to choose from. And then when you are flexible in these 2 decisions, then you have also the freedom to choose or to get more for your money at the end, because every dollar you can save when it comes to these 2 points, these 2 cornerstones of a proper IT environment, then you also can use these savings for other problems or for other topics you are in front of, as my former presenter described, for example, when it comes to cybersecurity. And so In total, reducing capex and opex is one of our problems we are solving as well in parallel. And this really doesn't matter where you are playing. If you're a retail store or if your customer is a retail store where you need on-premise solutions for your point of sale, inventory, surveillance, whatever. If you are and this is a typical example for the German-speaking market, for example, or across Europe, I would so to say, is definitely that we have a really reliable solution, a really reliable two-node solution for on-site applications for the SMB and robo customers. So the normal mid-range market. We are also prominent in the healthcare sector when it comes to all the, so to say, battles the healthcare industry has to fight when it comes to the scanning systems, which definitely are not really running on the main data center. This is something the vendors of the scanning machines need to provide to store at first the bunch of scans they are doing, this picture taking machines, X-ray systems, for example, for video images, etc. And also sometimes for telecommunication systems or for media systems when it comes to the upper class of the patients they have, where they are providing videos and stuff like that for their entertainment. Transportation, when it comes to security, autonomous vehicles, and so on. Energy is a really big sector, especially nowadays. When you really need to be secure that your energy is available across the country, across the states. So also there, we have a prominent installed base manufacturing for all the production lines, for example, and education when it comes to generative AI, digital credential solutions, and so on and so forth. And one big topic of our company is also, because we are purpose built, so to say, is edge. But what is edge? Define edge for yourself. I have maybe a totally different definition of edge. Also, my definition of edge is not always the same as the company's definition of edge is. So from my perspective, when it comes to the edge, and edge is where the data is growing more and more, is all these little bits and pieces of a company where data is produced, where you need data, where the cloud is not capable enough in terms of latency and connection and so on, not to provide you an on-premise or a just-in-time production or handling of your day-to-day data. So based on my examples before, for example, let's use this production line. When you are a manufacturer and you are giving your customer a machine where you're producing data on because of predictive maintenance, times where you are changing, for example, some bits and pieces to produce a special tool or something with this machine. This is all data we are now collecting more and more. So the on-site requirements for applications are growing, and also then in parallel the data. So the market is definitely shifting, not only moving away from VMware, but also from where applications are running and where data is produced at the end. So then we are talking about more and more data and more sites in a company, and not everything which is running on a production line, or as I described, for example, on an X-ray machine, or when it comes to video surveillance, has the authority to be run on the main data center. In many cases, you definitely need to have something on premise directly at the machine, only for the video surveillance, only for this specific application or data you would like to run and to make available. And this is also in many cases, a little risk you are taking here, because you also need to be aware of what happens when one of these systems are collapsing for whatever reason, for maintenance reasons, a power outage or something. So you cannot risk downtime. But as it is in the IT, and we all live in the IT for ages, I would say budgets are constrained. Nobody has the right budget to fix really everything. We are talking about cybersecurity, cloud, on-premise solution, and all this other stuff. So you definitely have not enough money. Then it comes also to the topic often enough, and I see it a lot of times over here in Europe, especially in Central Europe, in Germany, for example, when it comes to on-site support, we are really running out of proper IT stuff over here, which the companies can afford. And also where to store all these things you need for the edge in your main data center when you are a mid-sized market company. The other solutions, the alternatives to VMware, are sometimes also a bit too oversized, difficult to manage and to deploy, and is really a proper, huge, large data center solution the real solution for this purpose you're facing? And so our understanding of our company is that we are sitting more or less in between. Cloud is definitely a really great tool for so many cases. The large data center is the heart of your company for sure. And then the question is, what do you do with all the other things around your business, around your customer's business, the remote and branch offices, the edge locations I've tried to describe when it comes to healthcare with the X-ray systems, for example, or the production lines, or the remote sites when you're in the energy and utility sector, windmill farms, oil rigs, construction sites where you have a larger over 10-year construction site where you also need to have data on premise where you cannot afford to go via cloud because you have to upload and download a lot of construction plans, for example, taking pictures all the time to document everything. And also when it comes to the medium-sized business of restaurants, law firms, hotels, whatever, where you really need something on premise because the cloud is not the right tool, because also cost intensive. Yeah, when you're running the cloud 24/7 and you're storing a lot of data over there, could be really blow up the pricing. And maybe you don't want to have a direct connection or a permanent connection between your, let's stay with this term, edge location into your main data center. Maybe you, like RWE is one of our customers, RWE with windmill farms in the Northern Sea, where they have different clusters of windmill farms for predictive maintenance reasons, data collection, etc. They have on-premise in every cluster of windmill farms. It's between 8 and 12 windmills per cluster, and one windmill is the main data center, so to say, for the cluster. And then they are collecting with this main windmill, or there with the installation of StorMagic, all the data from all the windmills for predictive maintenance, for all the things of how fast was the wind blowing, how was the weather condition, blah, 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 collecting. And in several steps over time, they pack these information and send it into the main data center / cloud of RWE to process with their AI tools, with their ERP systems, all the data they are collecting from these windmill farms. So as you can see with this logo slide over here, is to give you only an example and a feeling where we are playing at the moment. You see from retail hospitality with Sainsbury's, a grocery store, about H&M, which are where they are running in their, how do you call it in English? In their warehouse, not in the warehouses, not in the stores, but in the warehouses, they need a dedicated solution to be really on time with delivering and all this stuff. O'Reilly's, Wawa, Sheets, they are all big retailers over in the US, manufacturing Mondelez all over Europe. We are replacing VMware installations for the production line, where the production line manager is the one who has the head on when it comes to the production line IT, where the internal Mondelez IT has no capability to deliver what the need is from the production line manager in this case. And Mondelez definitely says that the main data center is the main data center, and what happens in the production line needs to stay in the production line. Only the bits and pieces they need for the ERP system can be then transferred from time to time over in the into the main data center. We have also a lot of healthcare pharma customers. Omnicare, for example, is specifically working in the cancer medication industry, where you definitely need to be on point with everything when it comes to documentation to be auditable every time, all the time, 24/7, because this is really a critical topic when it comes to these kind of medications. Government and education, for example, we are working together with the Bundeswehr for the in-field communication systems. The German Autobahn, for example, when it comes to all the surveillance of the pieces of the Autobahn and the ongoing camera maintenance they are doing when it comes to avoid traffic jams, to control the tunnels and all this stuff. The German government, roughly speaking, 250 locations we are running at the German government. And I can give you a lot of other examples, but I'm really curious to hear at some point later in this year about your topics and what you're facing all the time. Maybe we have a solution right in place with StorMagic and our product portfolio. So we are really specialized, and this is what makes us the perfect fit for these kind of end user customers, that we are designed for 100% of uptime. Doesn't matter if you have only one, in this example, store for a point of sale example, or you have 6,200 stores. We are only running on, or what we are requesting is only 2 servers, a witness, which is only a service, because 2-node is more or less a cluster, and we are a cluster system, so you need a witness. But this witness, as I mentioned, is only a service. It doesn't ask for a dedicated hardware to be run on. Our failover when it comes to our full stack solution is 30 seconds. And our customer satisfaction overall, over the 20 years we are now within the business, is 99.3% satisfaction score, which you can definitely watch on the Gartner Peer Insights, Peer Spot, and all the other rating online services, so to speak. We're definitely purpose-built for give you the ability to run very quickly with these installations. So we put a lot of effort into our software to make it not only simple to install, but also tiny as possible, so that you really also can use really small hardware up to really tough hardware for larger exercises. And we are ready to run in under 1 hour. And the savings are also here not even compared to what we are asking for when it comes to the software price, but also when you're thinking about, okay, if I'm be able to choose from my favorite hardware vendor or for the purpose hardware I need for my edge location, then I can lower my cost when it comes to cooling. I can lower the cost when it comes to power. And I'm also flexible into play some games to see what's the really best fit from a price performance perspective and so on. So there are many points you can consider using a proper software like us, because as I mentioned before as well, software is something portable, hardware is something, you need to renew from time to time. So how can we help? You can definitely stay with VMware, Microsoft, or other hypervisors. So we have a great software-defined storage solution, which is called SVSAN, which we have from the very first beginning. But now, after, so to speak, 18 years, we have now, based on, this impact in the IT industry, put something again on the table into our engineering, which is now called our SVHCI, our full stack solution, to also provide you a full virtualized platform for your application service if you would like to have a proper alternative, a small and really reliable alternative. So our three products, our free lineup is on the left-hand side, our hyperconverged storage solution, SVSAN. On the right-hand side, we have our full stack HCI solution, which is a full stack solution we are providing to you for an alternative for the other hypervisors. And we have edge control, which you can bit compare to what you know from VMware when it comes to the vCenter. So our centralized management, edge control for advanced monitoring, and centralized management. And the typical installation example for an SVSAN solution is that you have, for sure, these two servers, doesn't matter which brand. Then you can choose, you are free in choosing the hypervisor. In 99% of the cases, it is still VMware, but also Hyper-V is increasing, Proxmox we're getting requests from. And then we only ask for a tiny virtual machine where we're installing our SVSAN on, and we take then control of all the storage you would like to give us after the RAID set you build on your server. And then it's up to you if you are running then container or VM virtual machines next to our SVSAN installation. So it's really then a hyperconverged system, but based on another hypervisor. Then you copy it more or less, the first, the left side to the right side, and then you have you can build a synchronous mirroring based on iSCSI. It doesn't matter if it's 1 gig, 10 gig, 100 gig of iSCSI in between for a transparent failover and failback of the storage. So the hypervisor can rely on every time that the storage is equal between the systems. And the witness service sits in between. You can install it in the cloud, in your main data center, on a backup server, on a Raspberry Pi. And what the witness is doing is only to detect the heartbeat between the systems to see who is healthy, who is not healthy. In case of the whole communication between the two servers is crashing for what reason ever, or if you're planning a downtime for maintenance reasons. But you can definitely rely on, as long as the witness is available, that doesn't matter what happens, you can still rely on our systems that when one server is coming back or two servers are coming back at the same time, that it will sync each other again, so that you are not need to be aware of data loss at this point. And even if you have no witness available for so many reasons, because you maybe stepped on your Raspberry Pi where the witness was running on and the Raspberry Pi is gone, as long as the synchronous mirroring or the communication based on the network is available between the two servers, everything is fine at the end. And you also have many installation options. What I've described is the typical hyperconverged option, right, on the upper left corner. But you can also do a server SAN with us. So you can only run SVSAN on a server, on two servers, and provide block storage to different applications, as many applications you would like to. Or you can install us in a hybrid environment where you're running also virtual machines next to us, but also you have the ability to provide storage to different other virtual machines to run different other applications, because not every application maybe is allowed to run in a virtualized environment, which needs then dedicated hardware for it. And if you would like to have the extra pillow to be secure, you can also run a 3-node configuration with us. I don't want to stress the technical topics that much, but this is a typical host 6 terabyte all-flash configuration within StorMagic. But I guess that Hermitage will share with you my presentation, so we can read through every bits and pieces I provide here.
Yes, David, so we will for sure do that, and we'll do 1 more minute to wrap up, so then we'd still have a few minutes for Q&A, okay?
Sure, no worries. And SVHCI is more or less the full, yeah, as I named it, the full stack solution. So also a two-node solution based on our SVSAN, which is evolved over the last 20 years. But we are also then coming up with the virtual network, our hypervisor, and the centralized management. So we really have, yeah, a full stack solution out of one hand, if you like, for different scenarios. And this is a 6 terabyte all-flash configuration example when it comes to our SVHCI. And you are flexible when it comes to the virtual machines you would like to install. This is the Windows 11, is the Linux, and so on and so forth. And the centralized management I've mentioned is at the moment cloud-based, but we are working on a on-premise solution as well in the background. You will definitely see some updates in the next couple of months that we are not only be able then to give you the ability of StorMagic Edge Control in the cloud, but also on premises. Different simple use cases I've already mentioned. This is where we are playing. But to wrap up, I would probably use this slide because you will get the slides from Hermitage to read through it. And I'm also still available if you would like to have a dedicated presentation. So what is the difference when it comes to StorMagic? We are a reliable, simple, lower cost solution for your on-site applications. We are software only, solving the VMware pain faced by the business. We are purpose-built and right-sized for different scenarios when it comes to all the application and data needs between your main data center or your customer main data center and the cloud. We are easy to deploy and manage. In the best case, no on-site IT is required. For example, with the guys at Tetra Pak is one example here. We are eliminating downtime with only 2 servers with our with our really specialized cluster. We are proven since over 20 years when it comes to technology and support, and we are trusted by thousands of organizations worldwide in really different categories. So if you would like to explore more, contact my colleagues at sales@stormagic.com, contact me directly at tobias@stormagic.com, visit our website, use the availability of a free trial of both products or even all 3 products, read through our total cost of ownership and use our savings calculator. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Tobias. This was a good example of how resilient infrastructure can reduce complexity and keep critical services running. And seems that we can have double celebration this year. StorMagic is marking 20 years and Hermitage celebrates 20 years in the Baltics. So really hope to see you guys during our roadshow. And we have one question before you run away. Since we talked about the roadmap, are you planning very small sites with a single node setup?
Single node setup is definitely available when it comes to SVHCI. If you need something for smaller law firms or a dentist or something, there are options for sure. With SVSAN, it's possible, but from a technical perspective, it makes not really sense to use SVSAN in a single node environment.
Shortly to say it's a yes.
Yep.
If you need any details on how to implement it, you have contacts on the screen. Thank you, Tobias.